Prabhupada saved us, isn't it? Without Srila Prabhupada, where would we be? Prabhupada said, destination unknown. You understand? Destination unknown. If Srila Prabhupada hadn't came to the West and started this Hare Krishna movement, and then came back to India to save all the fallen conditioned souls in India who before just ignored him. So his spiritual master Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati, he requested him, you please go to the West and you bring this Krishna consciousness. He knew from the very first time he met him, he was a very intelligent man because he asked good questions. He was one who would hear. This is a very good quality. Out of all the senses, hearing is the most important because from hearing you can do so much. You hear, then you do. So Prabhupada was a householder and he had his family, but he took it very, very seriously. He only got to see Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati very few times. And when he passed away, he wasn't there. And he cried and cried and cried. Because just in that few amount of times, he became so attached to his spiritual master because he knew that he was going to help him to fulfill that desire to save the world. He was there already, preaching so nicely and saving the world. But so many people didn't like what Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati was saying because he was a bold preacher. But Srila Prabhupada, he was also a bold preacher, a no-nonsense preacher. He never said to us, don't you do that. You follow these principles. No meat eating, no smoking, drugs, alcohol, no gambling, and no relationships out of marriage. And he went around the corner and smoked a cigarette. So that's a hypocrite, right? But Srila Prabhupada, he was not that type of person. Also Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati, he was not that type of person. And because Prabhupada took Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati into his heart, then he took this mission very seriously. But he couldn't do it straight away because he had a small family. But after some time, he realized his wife, she was also initiated by Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati, but she wasn't interested in being a proper devotee. So one day Prabhupada came home, because he used to go away. He was a pharmacist, and he'd go away and he'd sell all of his medical prescriptions and everything to so many pharmacies all over the place. And he was started to write the Bhagavad Gita. And one day he came home and he couldn't find his manuscript. He couldn't find his Bhagavad Gita. So he went and he asked his sons, Vrindavan, where is my manuscript? I left it on the table right here. And he said, I don't know. And he asked his other children, and one of them said, I seen Mummy downstairs. She was selling some papers, maybe newspapers, who knows, to the tea man. And so he went into the room and he said, Radharani, did you give some papers to the tea man? And she said, yes. I wanted some tea biscuits. She never left us any money. So I went in. And what did you give him? Did you give him my manuscript? She said, oh, some old papers on the table. Those old papers was Prabhupada's Bhagavad Gita. She sold them to the tea man, right? Would you get mad? Would you get mad if someone took your writing that you've been doing for years and give it to the tea man in exchange for some horrible biscuits, right? So then he said, all right, it's tea or me. Tea or me, right? Quite precise. And she said, ha, 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 I'll take tea. So Prabhupada went upstairs and he packed his bags and he left. She was thinking it's so funny. Prabhupada said, yeah, you think it's funny? Okay, let's see. Then he left and he went to Vrindavan. And he spent the rest of the time doing his books, doing his sadhana, and everyone loved him. They call Prabhupada their hometown sannyasi. He's our hometown sannyasi. And still to this day, they praise Srila Prabhupada. They say, oh, Srila Prabhupada, when he came to Vrindavan, he changed all of Vrindavan. The first time I went to Vrindavan in 1975, all the temples, little deities, they have ragged clothes. They're not nice, sometimes holes. But Prabhupada came and he opened Krishna Balaram Mandir and he showed them, this is the way you worship the deities. They said before, they were talking after Prabhupada left, he said, before Prabhupada bought his Krishna Balaram Mandir and the deities and these beautiful clothes and showed us how to look after Krishna. And now you go to Vrindavan, everywhere, each deity has beautiful clothes, isn't it? Have you been? You go to Radharaman, you go to Radhadamana, you go to any of these temples, they have very nice clothes. Prabhupada, he did that, you see. Anyway, every few months, Srila Bhaktisiddhanta would come to him in a dream. And he said, I want you to go to the West and bring this Krishna consciousness to the West. And Prabhupada's going, yes, I have to do it. And Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati kept on reminding him, wouldn't it be wonderful to have a relationship with your Guru? Even when he's left this planet, he's still talking to you in the dream. And so Prabhupada thought, I have to do it. Somehow or other, I have to do it. So he got to go to Mumbai on the train. He knew of one lady, Srimati Marjorie. She was in charge of the Scindia ships. And he thought to himself, I will go and ask her. He could have gone to Europe, but he thought, no, the most prominent country in the world is America. I must go to America. So he knew that Srimati Marjorie's ships, they went to America. And so he went and asked her, can you please give me a ticket to America? She said, no, Swamiji, it is too cold there for you. You will die, it's so cold. And she said, no, I'm not going to send you. But he was determined. And he went back and he said, please, will you give me a ticket on your ship? My spiritual master requested me to go to the West and to bring this Hare Krishna movement to the West. And she gave him a ticket. And you know what you've got downstairs? You've got this nice Prabhupada leaving Calcutta. And where did he go next? After Calcutta, on the ship. Where did he go? With his suitcase and his books. Where? Where did he go? He went to Cochin. They docked at Cochin because Prabhupada had to send his books. And they came from Mumbai down to Cochin, and they loaded the books onto the ship. And this was the port, the last port in India where he left and went to America. But actually, Prabhupada tried so hard to give. He was working so diligently. He was getting his Back to Godhead magazine printed and going to the tea shops here in India, trying to get them to take it. No time, tea, right? And then he realized why Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati wanted him to go to the West. And in the West, what did he find? He found some wonderful young people, some hippies that had had enough of this material world. We call that been there, done that. So they'd done everything. So they were really starting to look. And Prabhupada knew that Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati had sent him when he met these young people. Because he's just walking down the street and the young people would approach him. Are you from India? And he said, yes. And some of them would stay already. We have been to India. And he said, come, I'm giving some classes. Right? I'm giving some classes. So from that it started. And so many of the young people were interested in what he had. In no shorter time, the Hare Krishna movement became very, very attractive. He was going to the park every day with them, playing the mridangas, playing the kathas, Tompkins Square Park. Have you seen this? Have you seen the film? Have you seen the film, Prabhupada's Life Story? It has all these things in it. It's so exciting to watch, isn't it? Like that. And so, how old was Prabhupada? He was less than 70 years old when he went to America. I'm 75. Right? Would you think at 70 years old, less than 70 years old, you would go on a ship to the other side of the world, anticipating to start a revolution? Would you do that? Not in India. In India, when you're my age, they've got you in the bedroom, you're lying on the bed. Here, mummy, here, daddy. It's the end of your life, you stay in there. But these days, they're not even giving that. There was one old lady and an old man standing on the road with their bags. And someone came up and said, what are you doing on the road? Well, our son and his wife, they decided they didn't want us to live with them anymore. And they can't afford to put us in the nursing home. So they bought us and put us on the road. I got the shock of my life when I heard they have nursing homes in India. Because I never ever seen an Indian, want to put away their parents. Always, isn't it? Mother, father, stay in the house till they die. But that's the way India has become now. So advanced in materialism. Not advanced in spiritual life, advanced in materialism. So, Prabhupada decided he will bring his dancing white elephants back to India. So all those young people that he met in America, he transformed them. If you watch the film, they were raggedy like that. But Prabhupada transformed them, and they started dancing and chanting and singing and going to the park and giving out prasadam and cooking prasadam. He changed their lives. I joined in 1971 in Amsterdam. He changed my life. Prabhupada changed my life. And many of them, they joined in 1965, 1966, 67, 68, 69, 70, 71. Mostly hippies. Had enough of material life. Been there, done that, tried everything. There's no happiness in this. There must be more to life than this. And we're searching. And then we meet the devotees on the street. That's what Prabhupada did. Such an amazing personality. We are eternally indebted to him. Eternally indebted. You understand? Indebted. There's nothing that we can do for Srila Prabhupada that we will be able to pay that debt to him. We give these lives, but we have to give our lives, give our energy, give our mind. No? You know? No sleeping in the class. All of a sudden he became alert. Because you're hearing about Prabhupada, right? So, this is what Prabhupada did for us. This is what he did for us. And we should be thinking every day what we can do for him. And there's so many people out there. Yesterday we just went to some shopping to buy some brooch at the what shopping? What's this road here? Kamak Street. We went down Kamak Street. I said to Mataji, there's a little tiny shopping place there. But now they're pulling all the buildings down and making big shops, Western shops. You notice that? And they were Tata. Tata is doing, all these are there. They were opening up new shop. Tata was opening up new shop. I thought, I hope they didn't pull down this little shopping center. Anyway, they didn't. It was there. And I'm just going in and looking for this. And one young man goes, Hare Krishna. And I said, Hare Krishna. And I took some books in my bag, right? And I said, here, you take these books. And I said, you just give a donation from the heart. And he gave me enough for 3 books. Yeah. That costs that much. Give me another one. I give it to my friend. And I'm thinking, oh my God, this is amazing. And then I gave some prasad. We had a little container with some prasad in there. And then went to the next shop and was talking to them. They didn't have the bread. And they all go, Hare Krishna. Because I'm always in the sari tilak, right? Hare Krishna. And then another person, she was just looking at something else, and I got a little purse for my coins, and I showed them the book and the prasadam. They took the prasadam, and I sold so many books just in that short amount of time. And one man said, I don't want to have a book in Bengali. I want a book in English. He was a Bengali man. I said, don't worry, tomorrow I come back with the English. So how many? All the books I had in my bag, all gone. Just for going shopping. You see? And when Prabhupada was in America in the beginning, before he met the devotees, he used to have kichuris in his bag. So he would go to the grocery shop, and he would excuse me. He would go to the grocery shop, and Prabhupada had customer service. He loved people. He was a people person. And wherever he went, everyone loved him. So when the devotees met him, the Swami, he is so nice. And you want samosa? You give them samosa, right? And then tell him about their family. He'd ask questions. Prabhupada was was really a people person. Right? And so from that quality, it was so easy for him to get to know people. And before Prabhupada left this world, we had 108 temples. 108 temples in that short 12 years. And he also wrote over 60 volumes of books. So when you go out with the books, you're going to distribute these books, but you have to show the people who this person is. So when you've got your books, you've got to have that book called Prabhupada. And say, and this is a story of the man who wrote this book, right? Wrote these books. Very important. And they will read the life story of Prabhupada, and they will go, oh, how wonderful. Oh, they will become very attached to have more of these books. 60 volumes at such a late age. Here is in America, he is the most successful business person ever, Indian business person ever in America. He got the prize posthumous because no one has ever done what he has done. No one. Not any past writers. No one has done what he has done. Yeah. So that every one of us, we should take this serious about book distribution. And Prabhupada said, kill with kindness. Kindness? You know what is kindness? You be so sweet to them, so nice to them. You become their friend, right? And then you give them a book and you say, you like to read? He said, yes. Sometimes they say, no. Okay. Maybe you would like to give donation, right? And if they like to read, then you get the books, you fan them out. What do you like to read? Do you like cooking? Do you like philosophy? Do you like reincarnation? Like this, right? And you say, you choose. I choose one book, 2 books. You say, we just ask everyone from the kindness of their heart to give a donation to help us to print these books, right? They will give. They will give. Some people give $5, $10, $20, $50. They will give. And you have some young people that have no money. You say, it's okay. You take a book because someone just gave me $50. So I have enough money to pay for that book. Oh, really? You are going to do that for me? Yes. And you can give them a big hug. They like that. At the end, after I distribute a book, I always give them a big hug, right? They think then they think you're their friend. I met this lady on the street. I met this man on the street. He was so nice to me. How many people are nice in this world? Many? Not many. Not many nice people. But we be nice. Kill with kindness. And that was Prabhupada. Even the parents of the devotees, they were very skeptical about what their daughter or son is getting into. But they brought them to meet Prabhupada, and they would say, oh, now I can understand why you are so attracted to these teachings, because Prabhupada, he is such a beautiful personality, isn't it? And if you see his videos, he's always happy. You see his pictures, he's laughing, because he was very kind. Sometimes in Krishna consciousness, I find it difficult because the Prabhus were not nice to the ladies, right? But Prabhupada, he was very nice to the ladies. He's seen us as daughters, He didn't say, oh, I only want sons. Yeah, no. I'll tell you a story about this temple. One time, Prabhupada went on the morning walk, only with the Prabhus. And the whole time they were complaining. Oh, Prabhupada, we have to get rid of the women. We have to get the women out of the temple. No women in the temple. The brahmacharis are saying to Prabhupada. Prabhupada just walking, chanting. And when he came back, there was my god sister Palika and Jadharani and Jamuna. They had dressed the deities, bathed the deities, dressed the deities, cleaned the temple, cooked the prasadam, made Prabhupada's rooms very nice. And they came in, he said, oh, look at these Vaikuntha ladies. Look what they have done. Why would one not want to associate with these Vaikuntha ladies? You understand? You all understand? The ladies, because they're devotees and they're serving Krishna so nice, they are Vaikuntha ladies. No, they are not women. Vaikuntha ladies. So Prabhupada just walked in, he said that, and continued on. After that, no one said anything about the ladies. See? So that's why I love Prabhupada. I love Prabhupada because he never made me feel that I was a nothing. To Prabhupada, I knew that I am special. I am his daughter. Even though sometimes the men, they didn't treat the ladies very nice. Want to throw us out the temple? Would you do that? If I come for a visit, you say, out, you're a lady. No. Ladies, men, Prabhupada's disciples, you look after them. Just only we were in Vrindavan for the 50th anniversary, and while we were there, 3 of the Prabhupada's disciples passed away. So there's only like, how many left? 800 something left. Only 800 something left. So if you don't take care of them, you won't be able to hear all the nice stories, right? Very, very, very important. So I want you to take this very seriously. And I feel very welcome here. You take care of me, whatever I need. You're looking after me. This is perfect. The first time I found out about Vaishnava Seva was when I went to Radhanath Swami's temple in Chowpatty. They're asking me, Mataji, we have a room for you. Oh, you have a room for me? Mataji, what do you want to have for prasadam? Oh, you are going to give me whatever I want? Of course. And then they give me a bag and they said, this is for your washing. Oh, you are going to wash my clothes? Yes, Mataji. And so many wonderful things. They took me wherever I wanted to go. And I'm going, oh my God, never in my whole life someone treat me like that. So this is Vaishnava Seva. I learned it from Chowpatty, right? So this is what Prabhupada taught us. He's taught us to have a wonderful life if we just follow this process. When I got initiated in 1971 by Srila Prabhupada in London, I was only a young girl, 21 and a half, only 2 months in the movement. And he asked me to come, but we were sitting in a room Not as big as this, maybe this big. This big. And we all sat everywhere. So we had to get up and walk over to Srila Prabhupada to get our name and our initiation. Oh my God, I have never done something like that in my life. I'm coming from a family of 5 children, but not so much exposed to huge amounts of people. And so you got up and everyone's staring at you. And so I felt very nervous. And so Prabhupada, he said, what is the principles? And he said, your name is Surabhi Devi Dasi, the name of the transcendental cow, the giver of abundance of milk. Oh, I'm so happy. Like my whole life I've been waiting for this name, you know. And then he said to me, don't be afraid. Don't be afraid. Oh, I thought he knows I'm nervous, right? He picked up on it. And he said, you follow this process and you will go back home, back to Godhead at the end of your life. Back home, back to Godhead at the end of your life if you follow this process. Huh? And that is a message for not just for me, for everyone. Anyone that's falling asleep, tap them on the shoulder. There's one there and there's one over there. Because if they don't hear this message, then maybe they will think, oh, I can just, have a sleep, do this, do that. No, not be serious. This is serious business. It's not? Is it serious business? Is it? Up there, up the back? Serious business is Krishna consciousness. It's not cheap. If you want to go back to Godhead, you have to follow this process. So Srila Prabhupada, he said that. So I always like to tell that story because I know it's not a message only for me. It's a message for all of us. Right? So like that. I've seen Srila Prabhupada about 6 times. And each time, just for 2 weeks. One time in, that little time in London, but that was only like 3 days. And we went from Amsterdam, where I joined. I joined in Amsterdam when I was traveling. I'm from Australia. But I was traveling. I want to see the world. I want to see the music. But then when I started traveling, it wasn't so exciting. Then I was wanting answers. What does God look like? What is the goal of life? Why am I happy sometimes? Why am I sad sometimes? And then I came in contact with these beautiful people in this white robes and yellow robes and singing and dancing and looking always happy. Oh, I want to find out what they're doing. What have they got? What is their secret? So I went to the temple and they told me their secret. And they told me what God looks like. But the minister in the Sunday school, he couldn't tell me. He told me, I'm not allowed to ask questions like that. But and then I thought to myself, I don't think I want to go here anymore because if there's a question, there has to be an answer. Is that right? Yes. So then I thought, I don't want to go to that church anymore. They don't give me the answers. So then I came across the devotees when my life was very sad. And then they told me the answers. And then I became so happy, so happy. And when I was in the 50th anniversary from the Bhaktivedanta Mana, I met my temple president and his wife. And I said, I just want to thank you for for taking care of me when I became a devotee. And they said, it was no trouble at all. You were so enthusiastic. Because I found out the answers to what I want. So this is what we want to do. We want to follow Prabhupada. He had so many hippies and he made them into what? Happies. Because he gave them the answers. He gave them the goal of life. So if we want to repay Prabhupada, we follow this process, and there's so many people out there, just like my experience yesterday, are eager. And everyone says Hare Krishna to you. You go over here to the park, they all say Hare Krishna when they see you, right? So that is the beginning of their spiritual life, just saying Hare Krishna, right? And after some time they're going to think, these Hare Krishnas, they're always so happy. What have they got that I don't have? I'm not happy all the time. So much frustration. The tax man is knocking on the door. The landlord is knocking on the door. I'm working hard, and I never can make enough money to pay the bills, right? So no answer, no reason. Once upon a time, I was visiting Bangalore, the IT capital of the whole of the world. And they said, so many young people are committing suicide. And I said, why? They have everything. They have the money, they can go to the club, they can go and do everything they want to do, they are doing now. They can wear the Western clothes, they can catch the ship to wherever they want to go. But they're doing that. Why? Because they don't have answers what the goal of life is. So every one of us devotees is important. Doesn't matter if you're Pujari, doesn't matter if you're the sweeper. Everyone is equal, and every one of you can distribute books, right? Take some in your bag. You want to thank Prabhupada? That's how you thank Prabhupada, right? That's how you thank Prabhupada. By taking some books in your bag, a little prasadam, wherever you are. You go to the grocery store, you go to the woodmaker, the iron man, you say, here, some nice prasadam. Would you like to take this little book about Krishna? It can change your life. Look at me. It changed my life. I was a hippie before, now I'm a happy. So you take this little book, read it. We just ask you a donation from your heart. From your heart. They will give, isn't it? They will give. And you must be always smiling and friendly and kill with kindness, like Srila Prabhupada said. Okay, we've got 10 minutes left. Questions? Anyone has any questions? Come on. I know you have questions. Nothing. Yes? You have to talk loud.
Pastimes with Srila Prabhupada in this temple. Mm-hmm. Some of your pastimes with Srila Prabhupada here in this temple.
With Srila Prabhupada?
Yeah.
Well, I'll tell you one story. I went from Amsterdam to live in Germany. There, they needed some cooking, and I became a cook after 2 months in Amsterdam. So I went to Germany, and then we went to France to see Prabhupada in Paris. And after we went to Amsterdam, they were opening the temple, Jagannath, Subhadra, and Baladev. They were installing the deities. And somehow or other, they had used all the yogurt into the fruit salad. And there was no yogurt for bathing the deities. Because I lived there for 8 months, I thought, and Prabhupada was angry. Rawr, angry in front of the, what do they call it? the cameraman, he didn't care. Where is the yogurt? Where is this? The altar is too short, right? And I think, oh my God, I don't want to see Prabhupada angry. I know these shops. So I ran to every shop. I said, no yogurt. They bought it, all the yogurt. Oh, there must be one shop. And I found one shop with a little tub of yogurt, small tub. So I brought it back and I gave it to them for bathing Jagannath, Subhadra and Baladev. And the Mataji, they put all the yogurt in the fruit salad. She said to me, you take it. You take it to Srila Prabhupada. And I took it, I put it there, and Prabhupada turned around with a big smile on his face. I have that photo. And he knew that I had done that. I had ran everywhere to find that yogurt. So this is pleasing the spiritual master. You do anything. To see the spiritual master's angry, oh, you'll do anything. Yeah. Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati said to Prabhupada, he liked Prabhupada very much. And he would often talk to him whenever he got a chance. He said, they are fighting about the rooms. Who's going to get this room? Who's going to get that room? Who's going to get... He said, sell the bricks, print books. You understand? Sell the bricks and print books. Forget about the temples. That's how important this is. And Prabhupada Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati would tell our Srila Prabhupada what he wanted, what was dear to his heart. So he loved Srila Prabhupada, and he wanted him to do the most important thing. He wanted him to save the world. Save the world. Like that. So another time in Paris, this is in the early days, only in America they started doing the Sanskrit, like we do in the morning for the class. But in Europe we haven't done it yet. And so we came all the way from Germany to be with Prabhupada in the class. And in those days, you didn't have brahmacharis on one side, ladies on the other side. Everyone sat together. Somebody, a young devotee. And I'm thinking, I'm going to sit right at the front because I want to see Srila Prabhupada. And Srila Prabhupada was there, and all of a sudden, they're doing Srimad Bhagavatam class, and we're doing the Sanskrit. We are all call and response, right? And then he went, men? I said, what are they doing? And so the men, each individual one, reading the Sanskrit. And I went, oh my God, I'm right up the front. And they're going to say ladies. And they did. And you know who they gave the book to? Moi. I didn't know how to read Sanskrit, you know. Anyway, I started trying. And who helped me? Who do you think helped me? Prabhupada. He helped me. And so I'm reading this, trying to read the Sanskrit, and Prabhupada is reading it with me nicely. I didn't read hardly. I was so embarrassed, I want to crawl under that mat. And then in the end, you know what he said? Very good. Very good. How wonderful. That was our Srila Prabhupada. He was so kind that even I can't even say the Sanskrit. He says, very good. Who would not like to love such a man? Huh? Love such a father that would encourage you so like that. Right. So 2 weeks in Paris, then back to Germany, then again to Paris. We had different temples in Paris. And Prabhupada installed Radha Parashishwara. Then the next trip he came was to Germany, like that. And one time, he came in for the morning walk, but I had to stay and do some duties. And it was just silence. And I thought, oh, I must lead the kirtan. So I led the kirtan, and Prabhupada turned around. He was walking up the stairs, and he went like this. So if you please the spiritual mind, you never forget your whole life. I was only like 23, 24. And then the next time I got to see him was we went to Sweden. You know Sweden? And we all went on the cars, on the boat to go to Sweden. And Srila Prabhupada was in Sweden, and he was giving some classes. And I remember one Pacific class at the university, the Uppsala University. And Prabhupada was talking, and this hippie, he stood up and he went. Because Prabhupada was talking about the 4 classes, the Sudra, the Kshatriya, the Vaishya, and the Brahmin. And Prabhupada was saying 1st class, 2nd class, 3rd class, 4th class. And this man stood up and he said, and you, what class are you? Thinking that Prabhupada would say, I am 1st class. But Prabhupada put his head down and he said, me, I am 5th class. And immediately the man, he sat down. So that was our Srila Prabhupada. He was so humble. I have never forgotten that my whole life. And we went 2 years ago to the 50th anniversary of that time when Prabhupada came to Sweden. So I went there. And we went to Uppsala, the town, and we did Harinam and book distribution in that town. I remember it so clearly. And the next time I seen him was in India. We went for I think it was the second Mayapur festival ever, the second one, 1975. And so also over more than 2 weeks, because we were in Mayapur for 2 weeks for the whole festival, and we went on Paragram, everything. And you know that famous one where Prabhupada comes around and he rings the bell, rings the bell, rings the bell. I was there. Oh, it was just insane. And Prabhupada was just playing. And the more he rang that bell, and the more the devotees were dancing and going, Prabhupada, 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 the more Prabhupada smiled and the more he rang the bell. Rang, 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 rang that bell. You don't forget. You never forget these things. And then we left Mayapur and we went on the train. We're going to Hyderabad. We didn't know. We are on the train with Prabhupada. Prabhupada was in the 1st class and we are in the sleeper, second class, you know, not the air condition. Yeah, we were in there. Actually, at that time of the year, it's not too hot. Yeah, it was March, April. And then we went to Hyderabad and we did a big program in Hyderabad. And then I just found out now that Krishna Balaram Temple had to be ready for the opening, but they weren't ready. So Prabhupada arranged to have a program in Hyderabad. So it's a little break. So we went to Hyderabad, and then the next place was Vrindavan. And this year, oh, glory to Srila Prabhupada ki jai.